How are you? Good. استعن بالله ولا تعجز.
Jazakallah khair for coming and joining on such a beautiful Saturday afternoon, giving your time to us. But inshallah, we will try to answer some questions, some concerns, some family protection, and it's going to be well worth the time you guys going to spend. Inshallah. Jazakallah khair again. Thank you for coming. There's a sign-up sheet if somebody haven't signed up. First question.
You spelled protected wrong.
Somebody spelled protected wrong?
Yeah. It's missing the O.
Yeah. Oh, that's why humans. Basically, our focus point is going to be on Islamic state planning, the importance of Islamic state planning, why we need it. Brother, if you are taking notes and stuff, we have a recording, and recording can go online. So it's going to be more interaction. If you want to write down a question or something, or it's going to be discussion based instead of just a presentation only. Small information about myself. I own this firm. We have a team of financial planners, attorneys, and everybody involved. My goal is to give you information. We've been offering these services since 2011. So it's more about you guys today than me. So why we do this? Why do we continues come and try to educate our community? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Learn the inheritance and teach it to others. It is the half of the knowledge, and it will be forgotten. The first thing will be forgotten from the ummah." So that is our goal. That is our mission. That is our intent. That we want to educate our Muslim families how to protect and how to have a proper Islamic inheritance according to the Islamic laws. Can you guys hear me? Okay? No. Main question, $1 million. Will your family be protected? We have assessment. If somebody wants to take a 2-minute assessment, they can scan this code and QR code, and they can have assessment to know how well they are prepared for the estate planning as of right now. The reason we asked, this is an email I got on the 7th, a couple days ago, from a brother who passed away at age 35 last month. He had businesses, a 2-year-old son, non-Muslim wife, and his parents. And he was in a divorce proceeding. No, his wife that was in divorce proceeding already moved out of the house. No, she wanted to come and claim the whole thing. And she wanted to basically deprive his parents and other family members from all the assets. He was just 35 years old. Small question, I want to ask our first question to you guys. This is a small family scenario, 4 daughters. And this is a beneficiary, 2 brothers. Is this Islamic? Is this according to Shariah law or Islamic law?
Of course not. Of course not.
That is what we get usually, that we want to deprive people. That's our help, and we want to encourage and guide our families that the main thing we are striving and the main thing we want to achieve during Islamic state planning, protection here is one thing, but the golden ticket Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised us in Surah Nisa 13 that these are the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whoever follow those limits, Allah will give them a glad tidings of a paradise. So that is our ultimate goal. Peace of mind, protection of the family, but hereafter we want to achieve the golden ticket. Brother Amr, one of our clients, last year, a day after Eid al-Fitr, he was a pharmacist, went into his pharmacy, had a sudden heart attack, and died at age 48. We had the estate planning, but he never did any succession planning for his business. So his wife had to go through and all the, matter of fact, they lost their documentation, so we have to find their documents and completely avoided the probate, but still had to wait and delays on the sales of pharmacy. He was a wonderful person, Harvard County, and such an amazing person. Our agenda today, what is probate? What is estate planning? Who needs plan? What makes Islamic? Components of Islamic estate planning, and we're going to have a question answer. If anybody have a question in between, please feel free to ask me. What is a probate? Probate is a process, a court-supervised process to transfer titles of your assets to your beneficiaries according to your wishes. And probate is completely avoidable. The probate process can take minimum of 3 months all the way to a year and a half. So depending on your situation and the circumstances, the main goal here, we want to avoid probate at all costs. And beside the time, it is about 5 to 10% of your total assets are consumed in estate planning. If you in probate, what they're receiving, so it is giving a chance to more creditors and more claims against your properties. What is estate? Estate is all the assets that you own, your business, your jewelry, and your digital assets these days, all the cryptos and everything. Estate planning is a comprehensive process of organizing and structuring individuals' asset and financial affairs to ensure their wishes for distribution of their property and their assets. The main goals of estate planning is number one, to protect our children. By the way, mashallah, we came from the masjid. What is the biggest asset we have? Not house. Deen is number one.
Talking about the house in general.
Yeah, we are here because of Islam. What's the number two, the most limited asset we have?
Time.
Time. And what is the third most important asset we have? Who says? Yeah, kids. So number one, our goal and our most important asset is deen. Number two, the limited asset we have is our time. We have no idea when our time is ended. So we have to have a proactive approach completing all the estate planning. And the third, if we fail to protect our children, what is the good of estate planning and what is the good of living and having all the business and everything? Protect inheritance from the creditors, provide disability planning, prevent all the delays. So we go into the comprehensive planning on what you need and what is your family's goal, and we try to achieve on the basis of whatever asset planning we need to use.
Question for you.
Yes, brother.
About protecting one's assets from the creditors. If it's a legitimate debt, it ought to be paid.
It has to be paid.
Yeah.
It has to be paid. But the situation comes in, for example, since you brought it, let's say you put your children in your house as a title, right? You want to give them a benefit, and let's say they fall in a divorce scenario, right? And the divorce proceeding can consume your asset, that co-title with your children. So, alhamdulillah, number one thing, we have to pay the debt, but we also have to protect the malicious or assets that coming from the different stages. Yes, brother.
You were talking about house and property in respect to quit claim deed.
Yes.
How does that reflect with the will for the kids? If you put your children, your family, everybody on the, you set up a quit claim deed to where everything goes to them officially and it's recognized. In the event of death, how does it?
So the bill does not come with a quit claim deed. The will is just, for God say anything happened to you, or your wishes, or how your asset will be distributed. Will has to go through the probate process. You cannot avoid it. When you do the quitclaim deed, that's when you transferring your asset to whoever you want to have the quitclaim deed to. Is that your children? But if you transfer your asset to your children and they fall in any creditors or any divorce or any unprotected situation, we have cases that, for God's sake, Allah protect all the children. Children falls into drug use. So how do you gonna protect those assets? So we're gonna cover that. It's a good question, but we're gonna cover that scenario as well.
Thank you.
Any other question right now, or? Nice.
I
Yeah.
have another question.
Okay.
Culturally and traditionally, most of us coming to America now,
Yeah.
like back home in the days, or if you abide to the doctrines of Islam over there,
Yes.
you can just write a letter or type it and everything,
Yes.
and then let's say this is my will, and then get it notarized with the Cali court and everything, and
Yes.
you're good to go.
Yes.
But now that we find ourselves in America here, what's the difference, the pros and cons?
We don't just find ourselves in just America, we find ourselves in Trump's America right now. Right? So there's, when you handwritten will called a holographic will, some states do not recognize that. You have to have a proper, guidelines. Your will need to be according to your county, then your state, and then the federal laws. And the way we implement Islamic distribution in there is because Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala required us to distribute our asset in a certain form. So we implement that form in there in percentage or fraction without declaring all the other requirement, or without that we have a Shariah, Islamic wills or anything. So we do not have a conflict in any court or any legal system. Distribution is according to Quran. The writing is according to the bylaws of your county, your state, and your federal laws. Good questions. A few state planning mistakes to avoid. No plan at all. Internet. I haven't seen anybody complete proper documentation from internet. Even though ISNA and ICNA, they are providing templates, but those templates need to be based on your personal situation, your personal scenario. Everybody have a different family structure than the base templates. Incorrect beneficiaries. If somebody is divorced, somebody passed away, and they're still under the beneficiary designations, it could delay all your estate. Failing to protect your assets from all the creditors, IRS, bankruptcy, divorce. Again, we had a question on that. Yes.
What's the IRS?
IRS is our big Uncle Sam.
It's the place where you pay your taxes.
When you inshallah grow up, when you become a business owner, and you have to pay taxes, then you're gonna find, man, this is IRS that we was talking about.
I wish I didn't know.
Yeah. Al Capone was, he was saved from everywhere, but IRS, got him. So.
Internal. Tell him it is internal one.
Yeah.
Internal Revenue Services is called. Internal Revenue Services.
Internal Revenue Services, so when you make money, you have to pay taxes to run the government. So that is the agency that collects your taxes to pay for the police, the schools, and everything that you utilize.
All the good things.
All the good things. And some money goes overseas for the bad things as well. What is Islamic state planning? So Islamic state planning, main concept is we want to ensure our wealth is distributed according to Allah's command. A specialized approach ensuring your wealth is distributed according to Sharia law protects your legacy while fulfilling religious obligations. Again, why it is important ensuring that Sharia law, avoiding probate, preventing family dispute. We see so many issues. Like I showed the example earlier, the brother had dialogue or separation with his wife, and know he wanted to remove all his daughters from his assets, and want to give everything to his brothers. So, and we see so many cases. Brother passed away. His brothers are trying to say we are protecting our niece by not giving her our rightful asset because she's a daughter and she's gonna be married and our in-laws gonna steal everything. Nauzubillah, there was a long discussion, many hours and many times, but alhamdulillah, we was able to help the family, the daughter and her mother, to acquire $1.4 million from the father and husband's estate. Charities, zakats, if you want to leave a sadaqah jariyah, we can have complex planning. If you want to have a lump sum, or instead of giving a lump sum to one's organization, we can have a complex detail, investing into Amana mutuals or Azad funds or something, and have continuous donation going to the charities. What is the important, concept of estate planning? So, proper trust on one thing, on the legal wise or American laws wise, but in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Nisa, ayah 5, do not entrust the incapable among your dependents with your wealth, which Allah has made a means of support for you, but feed them, clothe them, and speak to them kindly. So the whole estate planning and guidance system or guidance for the children, for the minor, we take it from this ayah. And next ayah says that, and test the orphans in their ability until they reach marriageable age. Then, if you perceive them, sound judgment, release their property to them, and do not consume it exclusively, and quickly anticipating that they will grow up. And whoever, when acting as a guardian, is self-sufficient, should refrain from taking a fee, but whoever is poor, let them take according to the acceptable. Then when you release the property to them, bring witness upon them, and sufficient is Allah as accountant. We share this ayah to our non-Muslim attorneys, friends, and colleagues and stuff, and they are amazed because until just 100 years ago, the legal system in the United States was depriving females on their assets and all the children. So 1400 years ago, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a command how to protect our orphans and how to safeguard their assets. And when we are releasing to them, what are the criteria? We have to witness, we have to obey the bylaws. And why will is important in Surah Baqarah? Allah says, it is prescribed when the death approaches any of you, if they leave something of value, a will should be made in favor of parents, an immediate family with a fairness, and this is an obligation on those who are mindful of Allah. So we have obligation to pray 5 times a day. This is another farida that we forgot that we have to fulfill, and this is a commandment in from Allah in Quran, and there's a hadith Prophet Muhammad says that do not let 2 nights pass by without having your will ready. If the brother who passed away 35 years old, if he had his will or estate planning, his family will not go through the issues they're having right now. And we get all this a lot of time, we get this question a lot. I don't have any assets. I don't have a lot of money. What do I do? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answer for us. In Surah Nisa, ayah 7, for men there's a share in what their parents and the closest relative leave, and for women there's a share in what their parents and closest relative leave. Whether it is a little or much, there's an obligatory share. So no matter what is your situation on the financial part, if you have millions of dollars, or if you have basic day-to-day, you need to have a proper document to protect your families and your children. Again, these are few of these. Abdullah bin Umar said, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, it is not permissible for any Muslim who has something to build to stay 2 nights without having the last will and testament ready. We hear this hadith so many times, but still when we talk to a lot of imams, a lot of scholars, a lot of our family gathering, they still say that we are still thinking about it, we haven't done it, we need to work more on. Next one is a good hadith too. A man may do a good deed for 70 years, but if he act unjustly when he leaves, his loss will and estimate, the wickedness of his deed will be sealed upon him, and he will enter into the fire. If another end, a man act wickedly for 70 years, but he is just in his lost will and testament, the goodness of the deed will be sealed upon him, and he will be entered into the garden of paradise. We told this brother same hadith that if you are trying to deprive your daughters, and if you want to follow and don't want to go Islamic way, there's many people that they can do. But if you want us to help you, according to Islamic laws, you have to follow this. Another big questions we get, how can I, why don't I just leave everything to the Sadaqah Jariyah? If I have a children, why don't I just give a charity? Why don't I have just donations going to certain, Islamic centers or anything? But there was an incident, Sa'd radhiyallahu was sick, and Prophet Muhammad went to see him. So they asked him, Hazrat Sa'd radhiyallahu asked Prophet Muhammad, I only have 2 daughters. I don't know if I live or die. Why don't I donate 100% of my asset to the charity? And Prophet Muhammad said, no, it's too much. And then they say, how about half? Then they say it's too much. And then they say, Prophet Muhammad say, ask 1/3, and they agree that 1/3 is okay, but it's still too much. It is better for you to leave your dependent wealthy than leaving them in a poverty, so they are begging and asking for favors from other people. So that also gave us another, big roadway, because your wasiyah is only 1/3. The rest of 2/3 is according to the beneficiary designation in Quran. So you only have discretion amount of 1/3 that can be given to anybody, but you cannot exceed that 1/3. And your beneficiary cannot have a double, delivery, a double benefit that they are receiving their benefits and they are also receiving 1/3 from there. The whole Islamic state planning is compiled in these 2 ayah, ayah 11 and 12 of Surah Nisa. And ayah 11 starts from Yusikumullah fi awladikum. Allah commands you regarding your children. So all those, when you look at estate planning, every single time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, tell us to do a will or estate planning, it is a order to do. It's not just option. Same thing, Prophet Muhammad order us to complete estate planning, not just option that you might do it if there's a circumstances. But these are order from Allah and Prophet Muhammad.
You're more referring to the will, not to the estate planning.
Yeah, will, basically when you look at the state planning, basic concept of state planning here is a will is also part of state planning. When you do will, another document, there's a trust planning or the will planning. But both are part of a state planning. State planning is who's receiving after you're gone. So when you do a will, it's a right-of-way distribution. When you do a trust, trust is holding, and that's a distribution after certain milestones.
Trust where you put all of your assets in that trust.
Yes, yes.
And then it goes into distribution.
Yes, you can have, if you have a minor children, you can set up a trust, so they are the beneficiary, they are protected. There's a sub-trust, trustees taking care of them. If there's children with special needs, we are seeing more and more issues. You need to have a special need trust for those kids. So everything is a state planning, even the will or the trust, but then you look at it, you need to have a trust planning or the will planning. And also, at the end of this ayah, there's a chance, like when we think about it, if you have a father who's 80 years old and we have a son who's 5 years old, technically, we will think that our father already lived his life and our son need to live his life, so why don't we give everything to our son? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you do not know who is more beneficial to you. So your father share goes to your father, your son share goes to your son. So we have to comply every single requirement in order to be Shariah compliant or according to the Quran. these are again all the distribution, all the calculation goes through, every single calculation based on these two ayahs. And this is the golden ticket I talked about earlier. تلك حدود الله من يطع الله ورسوله يدخل جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها وذلك الفوز العظيم. These are the limits set by Allah. Whoever obey Allah and His Messenger will be admitted by Him to the garden of paradise under which rivers flow, abiding eternally therein. So, as a Muslim, first, most important asset we have, deen. Second thing we want to acquire, to go to the paradise. So this is one concept in Quran. Allah is saying that if you are distributing your asset to your family according to Allah's wishes, this is a glad tidings. This is a golden ticket. You do have to follow other things too. This is not, you can jump over, but it's there's one golden ticket we tell our listener. Ayah 13 is a big hammer. Whoever disobey Allah and His Messenger and transgress His limits, He will put into the fire to abide eternally therein, and He will have a humiliating punishment. Any questions?
I got a question.
Sure.
So, I like the example about your 80-year-old father and a 5-year-old son.
Yes.
Well, let's say something happens, like your father gets, really old, gets maybe dementia or something.
Yeah.
And needs to be adjusted. My question is, how regularly should you visit?
So that's a good question. When he's in a situation of dementia or Alzheimer's or anything, the assets are there, that goes to him because for God's anything happened to him. If you are alive, then he's not receiving. If you passed away, then he's receiving. Right? Number one. Then if he's receiving, then that goes to your siblings or your mother, or your mother have a share too. But your other sibling can receive that. But if you are alive and you are taking care of his father, then he's not a receiving end. Good question. But as for dementia, the older age parents, you should have an advanced medical directive as soon as possible when he's able to sign and put somebody in charge to deal with all the medical scenario and power of attorney. Any other questions? Did I boring anybody, or should we bring coffee, or? I know this is a deep concern and issue that we have to go through it and we have to learn about it. So, like brother says earlier, the order of distribution is number one, funeral and burial expenses, payment of your debt, your wasiya, your 1/3 distribution, and then the Shariah distribution of the beneficiary. So this is according to the Islamic laws. And Prophet Muhammad said that person with the debt is sealed upon him to his soul until the debt is paid, and even the shaheed is not forgiven his debt. So the debt need to be taken care of. Alright, so the components of estate planning. There's lost will and testament, there's power of attorney, advanced medical directive, and living trust. So based on everybody's situation, scenario, we will go through and we'll go first. Yes?
Are you going to give us this presentation, or should we take a picture of it?
Yeah, that is gonna be good. My camera is already turned around, and brother, can you just raise your hand? Yeah. So because okay.
Good?
Yeah, it should be because camera turned around and it's following you.
Yes. Now it's following.
Welcome back.
Now it's following.
Yeah, so brother Azad is also recording. We will have the recording as well. And, if you want, we can upload on the website and you can listen to all the questions and answers. But if you have a question, we can inshallah.
I was wondering about the PowerPoint. Are you,
PowerPoint, why you need the PowerPoint?
just wanted to read.
Read?
Yeah.
We have all the slides and you can go through it. You can ask me a question, I'm the person who created the PowerPoint.
I have a question.
Yes,
I just have to leave, I'm going to be able
Sure.
to stay till the end.
sure,
What kind of cost are we talking about?
$1 million.
I can't afford it.
No, the cost is basically, I was talking to brother earlier that in our medical field or when we talk to medical doctors, we tell them that prescription before examination equal to malpractice. Right? So meaning that if I don't know what you need, how can I tell you the cost?
But do you have a set price?
Yeah, we have the set price, we do the consultation free of cost, anywhere from, free all the way to $25,000.
Okay, and where could I find that?
I'm sorry?
Where could I find that?
Yeah, I can give you, hold on, you can, alright, so the consultation one, you can scan this and you can book a consultation, it doesn't cost anything. We will have, the Islamic state planning assessment is a requirement, one assessment that you can take a quiz to find out what kind of state planning you need.
We can find that in your website, right?
Yes, on the website you go, on the bottom there's a consultation, and in the consultation we dive deep into your personal questions, concern, then we design a plan according to your family's
Is
wishes.
your office is local or is somewhere else?
Ellicott City and Virginia. Yeah.
Like,
Any other questions? Yes, sister.
You see, someone has a Islamic state attorney and has will, and also as per the state, they have something like if they have a 401k or some asset, they have like default goes to the trust your beneficiary.
Okay.
Which one will prevail? Which one will prevail? Let's see if someone has both.
Yes.
So which one will implement?
So there's two things. Your 401k, if you have a life insurance, they are beneficiary designation.
No, as a Muslim, we don't have like.
Yeah, some people, but as any form that is a beneficiary designation, that will go to the beneficiaries. You just have to keep a track that whoever is a current beneficiary, you can design the beneficiary according to the Sharia law, the percentage, or whoever is receiving on that end.
Now, my question is, which one will work? Let's say, as per like state law, default goes to whatever the beneficiary, if I choose the beneficiary.
Yes,
My kids or my husband.
yes,
Let's say I have also in top of it, I have the Islamic state.
yes.
So which
So
one?
Islamic State is also, we design everything when we design the Islamic State planning or you have designed, that should compile all your asset distributed according to the Quran. Including your 401k, you can put the designation or the beneficiary, their shares, your husband get what, your children get what, in the percentage point of view.
But I mean, like, is that Islamic state law is like compiling or comply with this state law? They will follow it?
Yeah, you mean following Islamic law?
Yeah, like let's
Yeah,
say.
they have to, the American law required to fulfill your wishes. So if you have a distribution, everything according to the Islamic law, they have to fulfill and they have to distribute everything according to your wishes. Yeah, yes,
Some of these accounts, like where they require a beneficiary,
yes,
I just put my last will and testament as a beneficiary.
no, you should not do that. Because your will is not a standing alone, entity. It is a pass-through entity,
I see.
right? So your will is telling your court how to distribute your asset, right? So do you want to tie up all your asset in the courthouse, or you want to have everything goes to your beneficiary right away?
Well, the thing is, you don't know which beneficiary is gonna
Yeah.
outlive you.
So if there's no beneficiary living, right, then you can have a contingent beneficiary, you can have a beneficiary A, B, C, or you can do a trust. If you have a trust, then you can have your trust as a beneficiary of your retirement planning.
Right.
But because trust by itself is a document, is an entity, you can have a tax ID on your trust, but will cannot have a tax ID.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that is, just try to fix it as soon as possible. Meanwhile, if you don't have it, just, put back to your family and have them as a beneficiary of your assets.
You put each and every individual?
You can put as many people you want. You can have, if your children are minor, do not put any minor children for the beneficiary, because then the court, the financial institution have to wait until their legal age.
Yeah.
Right? So you can give it to your spouse or your family member and tell them how to distribute everything to everybody.
Isn't it 100% when you divide, like if you have 3 children, you do 33 or?
No, you don't do 33 to each other on the, unless basic.
Spouse and
Yeah,
then?
it depends on how many children, is a boy, daughter, 2 boys and a
I'm
daughter.
talking about 401.
No, 401k, there is any way you want, if you want to have, they have to follow your, wishes.
Right.
So if you want to have a 5%, 10%, or any way you want them to receive,
Yeah, that's
they have to follow. They cannot do that, oh, you only have four beneficiaries, I'm gonna divide equally. Yes, sister?
So that then is contradictory with our Sharia law, right? Let's say in American law, it says, I'm the owner, so I'm talking myself.
Yes.
My spouse will get half, it's like 50%, it's
Okay.
the standard. But according to Surah Nisa, it's not like that, so.
Yeah,
That's
so,
why my question was, which is gonna work, what is gonna?
no, sister, when you decide that, the whole concept or the whole purpose of this education seminar is to guide and have everything according to the Islamic laws, right? So if
Islamic
you,
law is different. They're the-
yes, so that's why you have your will, you have your trust, and you have a distribution according to the Islamic laws, and all the other 401k or anything, you put the percentage on there that, whatever your husband is receiving, whatever your children are receiving, according to your Islamic laws.
Oh.
Okay? Yes, sir.
So 401k, you can actually define your benefits.
Yes.
Okay, what about the IRA or the brokerage account or bank account? Can you do the
Okay,
same?
good question. So bank account, if you do not have a will, if you do not have a trust, usually when you open up a bank account, they want you to have a beneficiary in there. But in order for those beneficiaries to receive the funds, they have to have a death certificate, they have to have a court approval, executor letter before they can access that. So the simplest way is to have somebody as a co-signer so they can move, right? But the second thing is if you have a bank account transfer under a trust, then whoever's the next trustee, they have immediate access because bank already take the copy of your trust and send it to legal department, they review everything, and everybody's in a line, whoever's 1, 2, 3, 4 trustees there.
What about brokerage account?
Broker account, you can have somebody as a power of attorney, giving them shares of distribution, or you can have them as a co-signer on the account, depending on which account you are dealing with. But majority are the beneficiary designation on the brokerage account.
I have another question.
Sure.
The trust.
I'm gonna charge you $1 million today.
Sure, I'll give you billion. So,
I'll pray for $1 million.
for the trustee, how many people you should choose as a trustee? Because let's say trustee dies in
Yeah, so we always have a layer of people in trust in your will as an executor and power of attorney and advanced medical directive, and the guardianship for the children. We never let a single person hold anything. If there's no relative in United States, we connect them with the Amana Mutual. Amana Mutual is one of the Muslim trustee services. They can be the professional trustee to manage the trust as well. Any other questions?
Same question.
Yes.
So if, for example, the bank account is with me and my wife together.
Yes.
Meaning that perhaps anybody actually who is deceased, for example, the other one automatically is going to take the charge of that account?
Co-owners are,
Yeah, co-owner, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
yes, so she will have a full access. But don't tell the bank, for God's sake, anything happened to one person, remove the asset from the bank account before telling them so and so passed away, because otherwise they're gonna freeze the account until the whole probate process happens. We had somebody passed away in Baltimore County. The account was between the person who passed away and his son. And I told him, I said, just wait, just go ahead and move everything before you are telling the bank account that, my father passed away. He forgets, he goes to bank account and want to add his mother to the account. And Wells Fargo asked him, so where's your father? He said, we just buried him. So he's like, all right, we're gonna bury your account until you receive a letter from a court. So that's why we have to have a hands-on, approach. Our goal is, I went through the scenario of my father passing and the hardship and the pain a family feels. So our goal is to be there at the time and guide the family, how to protect and how to take the next step and how to, remove everything and have a proper distribution instead of jeopardizing in any situations. We had, in Virginia, we had a Dr. Saab passed away last year, 3 days after his house was transferred to the trust. And the family was, the total, their estate was like $2.5 million. Total probate fees was $94 for the court costs. So those are, yes.
We are discussing trust and will.
Yes.
Which one is better?
It depends on your situation. If you do not have any assets, you do not have any complexity in your family, you do not have any, children with special needs or anything, then will is better. If you just have a minor, you just want to have a distribution right in it. But if you want to build a robust plan for safeguarding, number one, protecting your assets from the creditors, you transfer everything to the trust, and then the trust holds and distributes your, assets. One of the problems we are seeing between husband and wife, majority times the wife are, living longer, the older age. Sometimes the children or their spouse are forcing them to sell the house and then moving them into the small apartments or, nursing home or assisted living home. Meanwhile, they want to stay in that house. So we had a discussion with two of our, mentor scholars. One is from Sheikh Abdurrahman Khan from ICNA. Any questions we have, we just call him and get the guidance. Second, we have a Sheikh from Medina University, Sheikh Yaqub Madri. He was a dean of Medina University and PhD in Islamic Warasan. And he teaches attorneys and judges in Medina how to distribute the assets. So if we have a complex issue, we call them and we give them, get the guidance. So we, on this scenario, Sheikh Abdurrahman Khan say that if you feel like the wife is gonna be displaced, create a plan that, until she have a full authority to live in that house while she's alive, and distribute the house after her death.
And that would be Islamically compliant?
Yeah, that's according to his, because you are holding and you are giving her the right to live there. If there's a co-owner, it's like 50% ownership, right? She already have a 62% ownership after the death of spouse. So you are holding, you are delaying the distribution if it's under the trust. It's not on your personal name. When you transfer to the trust and then doing that.
But that can get a little bit complicated.
Yes,
Because if the wife doesn't have any income,
yes,
and she lives in $1 million home, then you're looking at, if there's a mortgage payment, there's property tax, there's maintenance, all
absolutely,
these wonderful things, who's gonna carry all these
absolutely.
expenses?
And then also, if they fall in long-term care scenario and they are dependent on, Medicaid or state employees, so you want to also protect, because in state of Virginia, after somebody receives Medicaid, long-term care from the state, and until the spousal, they don't collect, but as soon as they transfer to the children, whatever they paid, they will take it out from they put a lien on it, on your property, and they will sell the property to receive that assets.
Right, so that's why that directive to entitle to live
Yes.
indefinitely, that's
It
got a big
falls in a
question mark
certain-
on it.
Yeah, it falls in a certain scenarios, if everything is good, if she have enough income, if she have any, like,
To
some,
establish a criteria.
yeah, criteria, if the house is already paid for, if they have a retirement income or asset to pay the house or, minimize the expenses, and then they want to, live there. Instead of just, going on and depending on the children.
No, just two things. One, I'd like to see the basis for such directive to validate it.
Yes,
And the second, this can be very sticky.
I know, it is that's why state planning is not simple, it's very complicated, and we have seen since 2011, so many different cases that sometimes, we have to get so many scholars involved in order to fulfill certain aspects.
No, the reason why I say it gets very complicated because some of the heirs,
Yes.
okay, that are entitled to a share in the house, they could pass away during the process. And now they also have, heirs too, so it gets very, very complicated.
We did, I actually did a recording for Sheikh Abdul Rahman on this ICMA convention. That was one of the, amazing recording, and because the question that came up, it was very detailed and very complicated question for the family. Somebody died before their receiving, and then the daughter was deprived, and then the family was holding back. So same scenario, it was a huge mess that lasted 15 years before the family got settled. Yes, sir.
Is joint account, husband and wife have the joint account,
Yes.
account, and then brokerage account is a joint survivor from survivor. So if it is any spouse is died, it's automatically money get to the spouse, right?
Yeah, so your joint account, when the husband and wife owns a bank account,
Yeah.
she can access the money. It's, she still have to, if she doesn't, goes and tell the bank account that, my husband passed away, I need the full access, they're gonna say, let's wait, let's go through the probate, let's have the court giving a sign.
I see.
But she, instead of going through and telling them that, so and so happened, because number one thing, if somebody passed away, the first expense is the funeral. The funeral is gonna be between $5,000 to $10,000 immediately, right? So they need to access that money right away. But if she goes and tells the bank, then they're gonna stop and they're gonna freeze account until she has the full documentations.
But it's joint survivor, they say account is joint survivor, automatically get the money, It's
No.
not entitled.
Yeah, joint survivor, but if you put the money and it's your ownership, so 50% still, belongs to you, right, if you're a joint survivor.
Yeah.
So in order for bank to be compliant, they have to follow the law, and they have to see, number one, your death certificate was legal, the court gave her the executor, the court gave her validation to go ahead and receive their money.
Even if there's a beneficiary on the account?
Beneficiary, you have to, wait, it takes 3 weeks to get your death certificate. It takes a few weeks later on to get your executor letter from the court. So then you go and tell them the beneficiary, they're not gonna release your money right away.
But what if you have POD on there?
I'm sorry?
What if you have a POD on your bank?
Pay on death, and the beneficiary is as similar. When you go ask them that I have a POD, if anything happened to me, how soon my beneficiary gonna receive the money? They will tell you exactly what steps you have to follow and how soon they're gonna be able to give it.
How can you avoid this? Like, how can you make sure that, like, when I'm dying or I'm dead, that I have the available funds, like someone can access the funds?
Yes. So number one thing, when you have a joint account, or each account you have a separate account with, for example, me and my wife, I can put some money in her account, or she have an account, some money in my account, that we have a control and we can access that right away. Second thing, we can have a trust. I can have a bank account transfer to the trust, and I'm the first trustee, she's the second trustee. The only thing she will do, she will take her ID, walk into the bank, and she have immediate access to the account.
So you can put the money in separate accounts and the other things to have a trust.
Yes.
And that case you will get immediate access.
Immediate trust gave you immediate access. It doesn't have to wait a probate or death certificate or anything. It's immediate access right away. Yes, brother.
Yeah, so the distribution of the asset is gonna be taxed.
Oh.
Inheritance tax?
If it's more than $15 million, actually $5 million in state of Maryland. So the state exemption from Maryland is $5 million, 16% inheritance tax after $5 million. And if your state is beyond $15 million federally, you pay 40% taxes on it. That's the benefit of Trump. He increased from, it was dropping down to 5 million, he increases to 15 million. Yes, brother?
Yeah, what I've seen with a joint account, I say that if you don't tell the bank that this person passed away, But what if it comes back is that the one who you are sharing the account with use all the funds before the other beneficiaries or the other inheritors
Yeah,
get access to that fund?
good point.
Would it come back that he or she committed something?
Yeah, see,
Be-
that's a
because of
double-edged
not-
sword.
Huh?
Because that's a double-edged sword. If somebody want to utilize or misuse your funds and they have a cosigner, they can go and empty out the whole bank without your information. So again, when you have, in that scenario, if you feel, situation is, bad, then we have to have a different course of action. We need to have a protection in place that you have a full control, but you gave somebody rights and somebody control after you.
That one is not easy to tell. We get to know people as the situations come. You you can't tell how they're gonna behave
Yeah,
before something happens.
I did a seminar in Harford County, and the brother was asking, how much is my wife is getting, how much, what is the shares, what is the share? If my wife, anything happened to me, how much my wife, how she's protecting, what is happening? I said, brother, are you married? He said, no, I'm still looking for one. So, and he was, a scholar from Al-Azhar University. So, he was a Regna, and he came up and he's like, Assalamu alaikum, brother, how are you? I said, brother, did you find your wife yet? He said, no, I'm still looking. So, every single scenario, we have seen these cases that somebody trying to manipulate or somebody trying to take advantage of somebody. So in those scenarios, our goal is to create a robust plan, maybe use a trust. If there's even, we can use an irrevocable trust in certain cases that if you feel like, if anything happened to me or I'm in a hospital, my asset will be taken advantage of, we can use irrevocable trust and have a tax ID and take it out of your state, and nobody can change that trust. Only the beneficiary or trustee that they can distribute those to.
From an Islamic standpoint, spouses should not commingle their assets and their wealth,
Yeah.
because in each, inheritance situation, be it the wife or the husband, they're the heirs and they get different distributions based on
Yes.
what Islam describes. So what do you recommend in this case? Because you see sometimes a lot of people with real estate, talking about spouses,
Yes.
they commingle the shares, and in reality, the property does not belong to both of them,
Yeah.
or not necessarily equal distribution if it does. What do you recommend in a case like this? And also,
Yes.
what would be the implications when the time comes, for the court to rule in the matter, or some disputed property, whether this belongs to the deceased or to the surviving spouse?
Yes. Also, if you, mashallah, you are a doctor or multimillionaire and you want to put house under your wife's name and even you are making a payment, Islamically it belongs to you.
Right.
Legal point of view, it belongs to your wife. Right? So in those scenarios, majority, 90% of the cases we see, the house is owned by husband and wife combined. So even though husband is making a payment, there's a joint tendency to distribute your asset. So in that scenario, we have to follow the legal and the Islamic as well. Because legal point of view, the wife owns a 50%, husband owns a 50%. Islamically, if the husband buys it, he pays for it, that's his 100% share. And then the wife feels like, 1/8, I'm only receiving 1/8, what I'm gonna do with that?
12.5%.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do, I have minor children, I depend. So there, in your Islamic distribution system, you can give a gift while you're alive, transferring anything to anybody without any limit. So if I want to give a gift to my wife, I transfer something to her while I'm alive, under her ownership, that is a gift I'm giving her, which is completely allowed, right? So if we have that scenario, then that's her property, and then she can distribute any way she wants. Yes.
I have a question with that gift you're talking about. Does
Yes.
it have to be legally or Islamically within your trust and will?
Gift when you first Islamically, you have have to follow. You do not want to, you have properties, give it everything to your wife and your private children, right? Ethically, Islamically, ethically, and then legally, when you transfer, that is a legal transaction, because when you transfer property to somebody, you're putting under their name. Yes, sir.
So, because we are discussing like deceased person, for example, like you real example, you give to your wife, it means that you have a will or a trust, for example. When you die, it means that your wife should also have a will and trust, so that when she
Yes,
dies,
absolutely.
it means that we are not talking about one will, we are talking about multiple.
Yes, so when we do the estate planning, not just a will, three basic documents we, guide our clients who have will, medical directive, power of attorney. What does will do? Handle your distribution. If you have a minor children, it goes to the guardianship. Appoint an executor. These are the three jobs a will does. You need a financial durable power of attorney. So if you're traveling or if you're incapacitated, somebody need to be able to manage your financial affairs, right? The power of attorney gave them the power to handle all those financials. If you are in a hospital and somebody need to deal with the hospital, how to, what kind of treatment you're getting, what is the scenarios, organ donations or not, autopsy or not, and finally the Islamic burial, where you want to be buried, who you want to be buried. That is in advanced medical directive, and everybody have a separate documents. So when we go to the trust planning, that is more comprehensive. The trust can be joint, the trust can be individual, but then that's an additional document on top of all those basic documents. So there used to be something called joint will, but when they start having all these issues that one person passed away and the will is jeopardized in a court, and it's a confusion. So it is an individual will for husband and one will for wife. Good question. Yes, brother.
If there is a house with three names on the deed,
Yes.
two out of three other people pass away.
Yes.
Is there going to be an issue in ownership for the third person?
Two of the three passed away.
Yes.
So the ownership, when they pass away same time or separately?
Separately.
Separately. So if the first person died, it should transfer to the Armenian too, right? And when the second person died, it should transfer to the third person.
That should be transferred to the heirs.
Yeah, so basically if he's asking that the ownership, the three owners in one property, right? So whoever's are leaving, his name is coming out. Beneficiary is different. Beneficiary is like if one person passed away and he did not have a specific will or guideline that his share, for example, there's a tenancy in common, tenancy in entirety. Tenancy in common means that I own 33% of my shares in that property. Anything happen to me, my children and my spouse will receive my benefit. But if I have tenancy in common, in entirety, that's mean if anything happen to me, whoever's are remaining, co-signer or the person on the deed, he will get my shares. So those two people will have my share divided among them half and half. So two different scenarios. Number one, you have to plan for your descendant and you plan for your partners, depending if there's a partnership or if it's between father and children or husband, wife, and son. Good question. Anything else? Sorry. Oh. So remember the 1/3 we talked about? We're gonna go back to it. We've seen the cases, marriage in non-Muslim, having dependent or having adopted children, or we have in-laws, we have somebody become a Muslim and their parents are non-Muslim, or family member is still out of Islam. So 1/3 that we talked about earlier in the discussion, that is a wasiyah, that is what we can give them as a gift. They are not a beneficiary, they can get the gift of 1/3, up to maximum 1/3, even they are adopted children. I'm sorry?
The rest of the question.
Sure, what question do you have? We have
The parents, the non-Muslim parents, for example.
yes, so non-Muslim parents, non-Muslim children, adopted children's in-laws, your in-laws, they're not beneficiary. All the step relationships, stepchild, stepmother, children born of wedlock, convicted murder of tester. We did have that issue as well. Son murdered his father in New York, so automatically if he does that, he does not receive any share from his father's assets. So,
Just for clarification, I mean, there's no such a thing as adoption in Islam, but you're referring to this from a legal standpoint.
yes,
So the non-Muslim parents, they don't inherit, but they can.
they're not the beneficiary. Maximum you can give them 1/3 to take care of them, or
As a gift.
as a gift on your death. But in your lifetime, you can take care of them. You can give them a gift, or whatever you want to do. You deal with them in your lifetime. This is upon your death, whatever asset you have when you pass away.
And non-Muslim child.
Yeah, a non-Muslim child, same thing. They cannot be beneficiary, and if they leave Islam, they cannot be your beneficiary anymore. The maximum they will receive is just one as a gift, one. Every document we do is a color coded with the cell phone information all there. If there's any situation, we have received call at 2 a.m., somebody passed away and we need to, guide the family. So again, I went through the scenario of when I lose my father, and I know the pain, I know the agony. Our goal is to be as a service-oriented or as a servant at that time, not causing any more problem, but solving problems. We had Brother Amar's wife actually. We went there like a few times and she's like, what is your payment? I said, sister, brother already paid me when we complete the documents. I do not have a power in me to charge you any fees, even though regardless of your assets, you are grieving, he passed away uncertainly, and this is our service that he already paid for us.
Question about, people who own assets overseas.
Yes, good question.
So that's obviously beyond the reach of the law here.
Yes.
So how do you handle issues like that?
So there's a few ways to handle it. Number one, you can give a power of attorney to somebody. They can be registered with that certain, for example, I'm from Pakistan. So I can give a power of attorney to my wife or my brother. They can have a certified copy in the Embassy of Pakistan, and then they can use to manage or sell or take care of the property. Number two, you can give a detail in your trust or will that I have. If somebody doesn't know, how can they manage? Then if for God's anything happened, then they have to go through the full, in my scenario, when my father died, he had a plot in Islamabad. Then, my mother need to have a power of attorney, register and notarize from Embassy of Pakistan, send it to somebody, they was able to manage and transfer and sell the property. A lot of good questions.
But you also know that IRS has to know about this, right?
I'm sorry?
You also, Uncle Sam has to know about all this stuff.
Yes,
Even
good
before,
choice.
even before you die.
Yes, so
So
if
be
you are a
careful.
US citizen, after moving from other country to this country, within 10 years you have to declare all your assets overseas in your taxations. At the time of your death, if you do not do that and you still have assets, they will charge a penalty and taxations on it.
Including an overseas residence?
Yes. Nice, good question. Anybody else?
I have a question. If
Sure.
you have a will in another state, do you have to update it or?
Yes,
change it
absolutely.
by default?
Your will declare that the county you are resident. So I live in Anne Arundel County. My will declare that I, Yasir Zia, resident of Anne Arundel County, declare this is my will. And second line will say all my previous will, beyond that date, will be avoided. So if I create a will today, anything has been done before is automatically voided.
To the best of my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, in the state of Maryland, you do not have to have your will notarized.
You do not have to have a notarized, or you do not even also have to register the will with a court.
Right.
But it is better to have a notarized, because, let's say, when you witness, if any witness move or somebody have, issue of, going or, what is it called, contesting your will. So if will is notarized, it's giving you better chance to have a distribution accordingly.
And registered with the county.
Yeah, well, when you register with the county, all they do, they put it in an envelope and put it in a safeguard. So if you do not have any cases or any issues that your will could be manipulated or somebody can misuse, you can have your will with your family and execute it at the time of death. Because when you update future, if you have future children or if you move from one place to another place, then you have to be current on that document.
Right, but as far as distribution is concerned, there's the Schedule A typically attached as an addendum to the will, and that basically covers every scenario that is to come up at the time of death. In other words, not every time you have a newborn or a lost child or anything that you have to update it.
Yeah, it depends on the situation, like how robust is your will. Will could be 2 pages, will could be 10 pages long.
Yeah.
Same thing, the trust, we have average trust we do is about 50 pages long.
The Schedule A that I'm referring to,
Yeah.
basically, it narrates every possible scenario that is mentioned in the Quran.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can have all the distribution, but the only issue we find on that, then they have to have all the calculation done at the time of the death. Then they call us, like we receive a call from California that somebody passed away, can you help us calculate the proper distribution? So if we have like scenario A, B, C, or we calculate the shares on percentage or fraction, then it's easier for them to comply and, move the process faster.
Can you touch upon revocable and irrevocable trust?
Sure. Unless you have assets beyond 30 million, or if you are individual, $15 million, or in state of Maryland, if you are beyond $5 million, and you want to donate something to somebody, some charity, something like a waqf in Islamic laws, you do not need an irrevocable trust. The reason for that, because when you set up irrevocable trust and you transfer your asset to it, you lose your control over those assets. You cannot sell, you cannot do anything. Only the beneficiaries and the trustee, they can manage in there. Are there some other scenarios, like, somebody working and somebody trying to steal from away from you, and you want to protect those assets and give it to your children, so you make your children as a beneficiary, and you put it in an irrevocable trust. There's also something called, I don't want to touch that, but irrevocable life insurance trust, ILIT. So you can set up a life insurance, and the trust is just for design for that. That is basically, if anything happened to you, the proceed goes to that trust, and they take care of it. That is irrevocable trust. But when you have a revocable trust, that's mean you can change, you can do whatever you need, whenever you need. You can manage, you can, rent or whatever, anything optation, you can do it. And you can also revoke that at the time you want to do it. Yes?
But for revocable or irrevocable, their tax benefits differences, correct?
It depends on your state. Yeah, and depends you're trying to avoid capital gain tax or estate tax. So if your taxation is beyond $5 million in the state of Maryland, or $13 million federally, $15 million right now actually, then you put it in the irrevocable trust. But if not, then you put it in revocable trust. And also, upon the death, there's certain clause, you can have a revocable trust convert into irrevocable upon death, or you can have a unit trust, which is irrevocable if you want to have a easiness for your spouse or your children. Yes, sir. Welcome, Thomas.
Your cover bequest.
Request?
Having a bequest within your will.
Explain what topic you.
So like my dear brother mentioned, everything is about equally. Say you want a portion of those who like your masjid.
Yes. So yes. So basically 1/3 your wasiya request is 1/3 of your total assets. That you can choose your charity. You can choose any non-Muslim family members. Anybody beside family if you want to help somebody, maximum you can give a 1/3 gift to them. They're not technically beneficial, but that's a gift to them.
So,
Yes, brother.
so most of the properties you own with, it's like with your wife. It's automatically 50% in case of.
Legally, American point of view,
Uh-huh.
is 50% ownership for her, 50% you. If you put her name, so let's say we both are partners, we set up something, right? That is, unless we define in there what percentage we own, it's automatically considered as a 50-50. If me and my wife own a property, it's considered 50-50. And the terminology you use afterward, like, tenancy by entirety, that means that if anything happened to me, it goes to her. I own a property with my brother, so we have a tenancy in common, meaning, and my share goes to my family, his share goes to his family.
Yeah, we need to know those stuff in America.
We are here to serve, brother.
Otherwise.
What about the brother and sister, Islamic law, how much is entitled?
If you, define brother and sister, they like as a beneficiary or a gift or what's in it?
Like, what is the share, like you have the son double and the
Yeah.
sister?
Okay, so your children.
Yeah.
So we always get this, why does the daughters or sisters only receive half the son? Is that unjust or not? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed the state planning or the distribution according to our needs and our wishes. When a daughter or a sister receive a half the share, that is her money to be used. A brother or son does not have any rights over. But being a brother or son receiving 2 times the share, the daughter and sister still have responsibility of that person to take care of them. So that's why, and in Islamic laws, if there's only daughters, they receive up to 50% shares. If there's only 2 daughters, the highest share given to anybody is daughters. Then, if there's no brothers or if there's no sons, then your siblings are their beneficiary as well. Yes, brother.
According to Islamic law, is life insurance and haram completely, and if so, what about having an insurance like a death benefit?
Brother, it's a complicated issue. There's many school of thoughts. I've been debating this since 2007. Right? I
didn't hear the question.
I'm sorry. So he says that according to the Islamic law, is the life insurance is completely forbidden, or is there any way or anything that can be done, or if something passed away, how can we protect ourselves? So
Protect your family.
protect your family. Do you want to answer that, or?
Quite candidly, for those who spoke about the issue, I'm talking about scholars, they raised a number of issues with respect to life insurance. Number one is known as al-gharar. Gharar means that you're buying something you don't know if you're going to reap the benefit
Yes.
or yet. And they also look at it as kind of gamble as well. I could buy a life insurance policy for $100,000. I make 3 payments. I die, I collect $100,000. So there's some sort of a gamble in there, plus other issues that they've raised. I find, based on the fatwas, to be this closest to the truth.
Yes.
Wallahu ta'ala
Yeah.
a'lam.
There are some scholars like Sheikh Joe Redford, there's some other scholars, even Dr. Zakir Naik and some other people, they say it is allowed. But when you go into life insurance, there's 2 kind of life insurance companies in the United States. One is mutual based, one is stock based. Stock based company, if they earn a profit, they share with the stockholders. A mutual based, if they earn a profit, the policy owners are the owners of the mutual company. So you receive a dividends in their shares. So according to certain scholars, it is if you are, number one, if you decide everything is taken care of, you don't need life insurance, family is protected, then it's good. If you need to have it, according to some scholars, they say that number one, it should be a non-profit or a mutual company that allows certain shares and you are receiving profit or share.
But in this case, you're an investor. You're not buying from a traditional insurance
Yes.
company. Or it's a gamble, you collect or you don't collect. In this case, you are a shareholder.
Yes,
So this is really not your traditional life insurance policy.
Absolutely.
In this case, I can understand that part, sure. You invest in money, you're buying assets, you're entitled to whatever profit or dividend that you get from the
Yes.
share.
That's why they say that mutual company is closer to the Islamic laws than the stock-based company. So, hope you got that
No,
answer.
no, I'm saying the traditional companies that you're not invested in anything. I'm
Yes.
just basically buying a life insurance policy for 100,000, 200, a million.
Yes.
I'm gonna make this many payments or whatever. And if I die tomorrow, I collect this much.
Yes.
If I die the day after, I collect a higher percentage. So you're not actually a stockholder or shareholder or any of that.
Yes, that's a traditional stock-based company. When you buy the policy from there, there's no profit sharing at all, right? But the mutual company or the non-profit, whatever investment they have in a portfolio, when they receive profit or loss, they share with their policyholders, right? So that where some scholars are giving, because 2007 I came into the financial field. 2025, I've been counting people. Let me ask, how many have a zero debt here?
Zero debt what?
Debt, zero, there's no debt at all. 1, 2, no, 3, 4, 5. Mashallah, this is the best. Debt free, 6, 7.
That's where you're supposed to live.
Yes, alhamdulillah. So, based on that scenario, when we talk, there's they say that when we ask a question that is debt haram or life insurance? Are you utilizing life insurance to pay your debt off after the time of your death? So there's a different bylaws, different scholars are giving the different situations. So, but that's one thing I had. Remember the Sheikh Yaqub Madni? I asked him the exact same question. I said, brother, what do you think about life insurance? There was him and two other muftis, one from New York and one from Baltimore. He said, it's not allowed. I said, brother, here we have all the people, 90% of the people have a mortgages, car loans, or whatever loans they have. And what do you think utilizing the life insurance to pay off the debt? Design the policy that if anything happens, the debt is wiped out. So he said, we never, he's mashallah retired and he said we never thought of this way that can be used to pay off the debt upon the debt.
But that's a collateralized debt. That is a collateralized debt.
Yes.
That there's an asset to protect the debt to the appraiser.
Yes.
Okay? So it doesn't justify carrying an insurance policy to wipe out the debt.
Yes.
You sell the house, you liquidate.
Absolutely.
Just keep in mind that our insurance policies with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, your risk is guaranteed before you're born.
Absolutely.
That's our insurance policy.
Yes, absolutely. That's, when my father actually died, I left college at that time, started driving cab. I drove for, there was cases that I drove 40 hours straight just to pay the bills. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I learned everything while I was driving cab, all the license and everything, getting there. Alhamdulillah.
That made you a different person.
Alhamdulillah. I was telling my son yesterday, in 2009, I took somebody to DC, and gas station brother is buying something from a machine. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm buying that Bitcoin. You should invest into this. I said, how much? He said, 10 cents a Bitcoin. He said, just put $100 into it and you're gonna thank me. At that time, I was taking care of my siblings, 5 siblings and my mother. I didn't even have $100 to invest into that. But if I have done that, will I be still be knowledgeable and will that belong to me? Or will I have the same trajectory of helping those people that we've been able to help?
A good thing you're doing, because that's also that's got a big question mark on it.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, that's Allah protects you. Like if your intention is true, if you do not want to cut anybody's legs off and you do not want to damage anybody, Allah will guide you and protect you for longer.
Yes. And not proportion like we've learned before, because a lot of it's coming from a fee-based system. So I think you was breaking down between the mutual and stocks and the fee-based one. That's why the generalizes that life insurance is from that standpoint.
Yeah.
But I will also ask if you have a company or partner with a company and they give you a life insurance that you did not ask for, how do you all handle that? Where it's like,
It's a good question. It's based on still on your life insurance. I have some scholars, they say, if it's not paid for, you're not paying for it, it's okay, right? But you can also refuse. I'm a financial planner. There's not a single company that you cannot refuse a certain financial instrument, right? You can always refuse. So it is like, you know, if we try to deceive ourselves or trying to do something, that's totally whatever the intentions are, everything is going to be accordingly, right? So that's why to my personal point of view, if you're working for somebody and you got a life insurance to give you $200,000, $300,000, right? But if somebody owns his own business, can't his company buy it for himself?
Yeah, well, I'm asking.
Right? Or if I'm buying myself,
The company is his, so
Yeah.
he's buying it for
so
himself.
it's a company buying, right?
It's an LLC or it's.
Yeah, it's a third entity buying for him as a key man insurance, because anything happened to him, the company's at the loss.
No, you see, that's more like catching the fish on Sunday.
That's what I'm trying to, you know, I don't see a difference. Because if the company, I can always reject. If I can reject my health insurance, and I can reject my life insurance too.
Yeah, the company gives it to you where you're making your selection.
Yeah.
And you don't have that ability, it's like we're giving it to you for, you know, we appreciate you, should, in that case, should you then direct your family, should you pass, to not accept that check from that company, even though you haven't bought into it. It's like they're gifting it to you.
I think I'm not, is it that each company has like something, give you like 3 times of your salary, that's free? But
No,
if you want
that's 401k. You know why the company, you know, yeah, life insurance, you know why the company gave you life insurance and tell you that you have to get it? Because it's a group coverage and the company gets the tax credit for employing, you know, distributing to them. Yeah, so when they gave it coverage, they do a tax write-off, so they are saving their own taxes by forcing you to have a life insurance.
Yeah, but we are not paying for that.
No, the 3% or 4%, when you have a retirement account, 401k, then they match 3% of your contribution or 4% or until like 4%, 100%, and then 2%.
We're talking about life insurance,
Yes.
the company gives you 3 times of your salary.
3 times, not a percent of your income. So 3 times, that's a term policy. Basically a group coverage, they're covering everybody, and as a employee benefit, the company gets the tax credit. Any other questions?
So other thing is like, if you have, for example, 3 or 4 children, and inheritance tax.
Yes.
How Islamically allowed, like if I'm seeing that out of my 4 children, 3 of them are doing financially not very well, but one is, you know, not doing so well. So how do you do this?
Well, another scenario I tell you, hold on there. What's
So
the
they all
oldest?
are adults, I'm just.
No, for example, my oldest son is 14, my youngest son is 5, right? I cannot discriminate.
No, I'm talking about adults.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you this. My oldest son and my younger son have a same beneficiary, you know, the same percentage of share, regardless of their age, right? But if in your scenario, if your brother, if your children, like one does not have that much assets, second is wealthy, they can actually give a gift to them, they can take care of. In your life, you can also give a certain gift to the child, you transfer asset to them.
Well, if I may, in that case, you know, with their permission, yeah, with the siblings' permission, if they say it's okay, then it's okay.
But if they say not okay, then what's the?
Then it's not okay, everybody gets their share.
Yes, yeah, they can, if they refuse, they refuse. You can, in your life, that's on the time of death. But in your life, you say, you know, we have cases, somebody is like, you know, doing have some physical or some mental or some issues, and they set up a trust or something to safeguard that. And that's a gift we transfer in your life. We will have some information if somebody needs to sign up for the consultation. Number 1, the QR code. Second, we also want to pass around some forms that somebody can get. All right. Any other questions before we have final, because I already got, yes, brother?
Just a quick question. Can I get your email address and your website?
If you scan this, actually, let me, so by the way, this is a difference between living trust and will. Living trust avoids probate completely. Will has to go through the probate. Yes. Not on the state, on the property. So, they can put it on trust. Yes. 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 So, if, depending on your situation, you can. Sure. Yes.
Give me one call.
That is a beneficiary designation that you pay in your living fund.
So, yes, I pay, but it seems like the government's desire
Yes.
is that it goes to the surviving spouse.
Whoever's a surviving spouse.
I don't know why it's
Yeah.
whether it should be included as part of the inheritance or not, but something is paid for, after working.
Yeah, one thing they say that at the time of the death, it was not under the control of the person. Right? So it basically prompted or generated after the death, just like a life insurance, it prompted after the death.
Right, but what would be the responsibility of the surviving spouse?
Surviving spouse, obviously, if there's a minor children, they have to take care of the minor children.
That's nothing to do with minor or.
Yeah.
It's a benefit that you pay for, if your wife died, now you don't have to pay. Surviving spouse, you might have this benefit, you might pay more what you pay for. What is their obligation in this case?
Religiously speaking, whatever asset you have, they have to distribute the whole
That monthly payment will be distributed
to the members. So brother, this QR code goes to my website.
What? What's the website?
Website so that's my email. Yeah, Islamic Council Trust. That's the email, that's the office number. You can take a picture of this. Yes. So that's what it is. We can call you or. This is my assistant. No, he's fully paid. And he's been paid since he was born. So, inshallah, I'm trying to educate him to become the Islamic